Major General William Neil McCasland, age 68, vanished, missing from his Albuquerque home, 27th of February this year. I don't understand why more people aren't talking about this, but I'm going to deep dive into this one today. Mostly based on a dream that I had about communicating with a general in the dream and something being hidden, somebody with high clearance, perhaps being recalled or being called back in. So let's deep dive into this today. So a little bit of facts about this case. Now, why everybody's eyes have been on Nancy Guthrie, I think. I wonder if this case has got the attention that it is weirdness, strangeness here with this case. Now, a little bit of facts about the case. I'm just going to pull cards as I go. Thoughtful gesture and a foolish moment. Okay, I can wonder if that's going to come back up again today. Facts about this case. So he was last seen by a person at his home, a repairman at his home, 10 a.m. His wife left for an appointment at 11:10. She returned at 12, a little bit after 12, and he was no longer there. So he was they're saying he was last seen around 11 o'clock. What he did take with him, he took his revolver. He took a backpack. He took, let me see what else he took. His wallet. They're not quite sure what shoes he had. Perhaps he had hiking boots. They're not certain. It's not listed here. What he didn't take, his glasses, which he wore everywhere, didn't take them. His phone and his wearable devices, so his watch, his anything trackable, he left behind, which is kind of interesting. So this is an interesting case. There's not, now this is quite a few, we're looking at 5-6 weeks that this has happened, and there's no information. They've done an extensive search for him, come up with nothing. It says there's no signs of foul play, and no confirmed sighting. So quite interesting, unusual, but no other information. For a case that's gone on for so long, normally there's a little bit more information released, but with this one there's not. So to me that's a little bit strange as well. I also think it's strange that he made the choice not to take any trackable items with him. So let's pull some cards as we go. Now I'm using the Connections Oracle first of all. I just wanted to see if there's anything here that's relevant to this case. Tapping into the energies of Major General William Neil McCasland, missing 27th of February. What would you like to let me know about this case? Caution. Had to act swiftly, or it was a swift outcome. A scattered mind. Now they are saying that he was sound of mind. There are some reports that there may have been a little bit of brain fog around him in recent days, but he was a sharp-witted person. So, but here it's saying maybe his mind was a little bit scattered at this time. Now, if I was looking at this as a medium reading, now we don't know if he's alive, if there's many things circulating around the internet. So things like because of the information or knowledge he had on nukes and UFOs disclosure, then it could be related to that there. So I will ask that question. Now, it is interesting that Trump said about disclosure about a week prior to, and then he disappears. So that's interesting as well. This says he acted swiftly or swift passing. Playing with fire, caution, gunpowder is fire, and his mind was a bit scattered at this moment. So any other, before we get into this reading? Okay, so my dream that I had was about a general. I was talking to a general and something was hidden. It showed me a wall, a fake wall, and something was hidden. So that was the dream, why I chose to read on this case today, because I was communicating with a general in my dream. Didn't feel like a normal dream. It felt like a psychic transmission because the conversation wasn't fluent. It was coming through in patchy words and sentences, just like when I read. And it was filtered a little bit by my own experiences. So I couldn't quite tell what the conversation was about. I didn't know if we're talking about food shortages or if we're talking about things being recalled, which is kind of interesting now, I'm thinking, because a week prior, Trump says disclosure. The dream told me that certain high-ranking officials or diplomats or people with high knowledge, the word hidden came in here. Defense was also one of the words, defending or defense was also one of the words that came in the dream. And it was about certain people being called in because of their knowledge. So interesting. So what would be revealed if disclosure came out? Now, does that leave the general in a state of worry about what might be revealed? Because he was somebody with high clearances. He was definitely in the know. Here we've got lies and dishonesty around youth gone too soon. Okay, that feels like a complete conspiracy kind of reading to me. Okay, so maybe he was worried about certain things that would be revealed if they started opening files. Now, I also think on one of the could be Black Vault, one of the websites that has a lot of disclosure information, lost thousands of files, went missing. But he had backup copies too. But okay, so let's get into the questions now. I'm going straight to my investigation oracle because that's the one that is straight for reading and I'm ready to read. Okay, first of all, if disclosure was to happen, would General Neil McCasland, as I'm asking the cards, I've got to use the right name. Would he be called in to testify or give information? I'm phrasing it this way because my dream said certain people were going to be called in to defend something. More than one? Certain information, dark projects. Darker says dark web, but we're talking about projects or dark projects. Now, he was privy to top secret information. He had top secret clearance. He ran some of the facilities. Digital footprint. A digital footprint. So maybe going through the digital files about certain dark projects. Doesn't mean they were going to, but maybe there was a fear of that. So let's be clearer here. Was it just that General McCasland had a fear that certain black projects would be revealed? Okay. So he, as far as his fear goes, I think he was fearful about judgment of certain deals made within those projects. No. Now this is a no, so it's very important, but it's also related to hidden. It's hidden. It's not no in this case. Normally straight up I would say no, but this card has the word that was given to me in the dream, which is hidden. Hidden information. It was one of the very clear psychic words that came through the dream. It was defense, it was hidden, it was people being called in with high clearance knowledge. And I didn't know I was going to read on the general. I just, when I saw that I was talking to a general, I thought, oh, maybe I should look into that case. Searching or missing. Now, he is missing. Is he in hiding? Let's ask that question. When you choose to make the decision to leave your home without trackables, is he in hiding? Is the general in hiding? Freedom. Group involvement, more than many people involved. Now these all fell out in a funny way. So search of the home, it could be search of the home for hidden information perhaps. In the dream he showed me a false wall or something hidden in the walls of a house and then gyprocked over. So you couldn't even see that there was something hidden behind the walls. Okay, was he in hiding? Something was organised. There may have been an organised meeting. Okay, world. Maybe worried about, because we're talking about fears. Powerful people involved. An organised meeting with a powerful person. So organised meeting with a powerful person. Let's start getting further into this now. Let's go deeper. Show me his state of mind, please, on that day. Leaving the house without trackables. What was his state of mind, please? General McCasland, state of mind. Leaving the house without trackables. Hidden, the word hidden once again. It's unbelievable. The dream that I had 2 nights ago, clear word was hidden, and how many times is this reading bringing out cards saying hidden? What is hidden? Is he in hiding? That's a question. Running out of time, carried heavy burdens. So carry heavy burdens. There's connections to a circle, a ring, or a group. Okay, as I say that, I feel I'm a little bit scattered with that energy. It doesn't feel to be clear energy to me. Now this is an interesting card. I've just got to show. It shows tunnels hidden underground. Now when I was looking into the research, and there's very little information about this case on the internet, but one of the things I started thinking about was the location of this place. And the location is New Mexico. Where then you hear about certain places around that have tunnels. There's also Zorro Ranch, I believe, which is Epstein Ranch. Now, from memory, I'm thinking it's around 55 miles from where Neil McCasland went missing. He was known he was a fit man. He was known to have done 60 miles previously, a 60-mile hike. So 55 miles really wouldn't be anything unusual. So we do see, and the only reason I'm talking about this is because it's one of the things I thought of when I was thinking about this case. Okay, that area seems familiar. What is it? I looked up Nancy Guthrie area. It's further away. It's not as close as the Zorro Ranch, I believe. And I'm not in the US, so I've never been there. I have no idea, but I was just searching how far between certain places. The other one that came to mind was Gene Hackman. He had apparently tunnels under his place in, could have been New Mexico as well, and that's why tunnels are significant. So places with tunnels underground. So we have a high profile meeting or something organized. Tunnel cards up. Let's get into this now. The next question, is he in hiding? Is he in hiding? And then I'll ask about his general state right now. Is General, Major General, excuse me, that's, I've been saying General, but he's Major General William Neil McCasland. Is he in hiding right now? Okay, so we've got the conflict card. This, I think, is military. It says conflict, argument, fight, but I think this is representing military clearance because it's a warrior. So we're talking about military clearance. A vehicle or was moved. Okay, in powerful people involved on the bottom of the deck here. Now in my dream, which could mean nothing, it may not be even connected, they said that certain people would be called in or perhaps having to defend something. So is that connected? No. No. He wasn't getting called in because it says not involved, so, or unaware, so no. Innocent wouldn't be called in, and that's the thing too that they're saying about this case, is that his clearance ended, I believe, 10 years ago. Now he had definitely information, he definitely has hidden knowledge, but there's some people are saying that his clearance was a decade old, and I think even his wife may have said, why would somebody be interested in somebody that has a decade old, and I'm paraphrasing, a decade old information. So no, the answer to that question was no. He wasn't being called in. House search. Interesting because of the dream I had about the fake wall, and the word hidden kept coming through. Tell me about his state at this moment, please. The state of Major General Neil McCasland's state right now. Well, you know what? He is a powerful person. He would be involved with many powerful people. Group involvement, powerful, so a powerful group. Now he was involved in a very powerful group that he left behind. So he, and this is what I was just talking about, maybe it ended around 2013. He then went on to do something with the Stars Academy, I think it's called, with Tom DeLonge. Podesta, I think, was involved in that as well. Looking into certain projects and disclosure, he was a consultant to that group. And that's why this card here is making me think about that, the group here. Powerful group. I mean, I'm sure he was involved in many powerful groups given his clearance levels. I'm not sure why I chose that group. A ring. Now this is a ring. Also, we saw that ring in the last card. Timing. Check. It says check timing was the other card that flipped out, and no one's checking timing. Nobody can check timing because there's no pings. There's no pings because he has no trackable devices. Did he intentionally choose not to wear trackable devices? trackable devices. That was organised. These two cards just came out in the last spread, which is why I'm asking this question. And the cards are saying it again. They're saying it was organised that he did not wear trackable devices. The tunnel card has presented itself back on the table again. The car again. Inside job taken out. And then we have the military card again. Defense. And I'm saying defense because my dream, one of the prominent words that came out was defense, or having to defend yourself, or some kind of defending something. Defense. This is military. It's not fight, conflict, or argument. I feel it's military. I feel it's defense. National defense even. Knowledge or information about that. Underground could be dark projects, underground projects. Okay, I'm just going to ask this as a conspiracy question. Was he taken out for knowledge that he knew about these projects? Maybe even defense projects. It seems to be more connected to military defense projects rather than UFO disclosure. So maybe I need to clarify those two main things, but I think the cards are more relating to, and I don't think there's any UFO cards here. So conspiracy question, was he taken out, or was he taken for the information that he knew? Major General William Neil McCasland, was he taken for the information that he knew? Group involvement. So we have group involvement in well-funded black projects or well-funded projects. I'm saying well-funded black projects because of that dark web card that came out, and plus one of the other cards that came out as well. But here, reading straight from the raw message of the cards, it's saying it's to do with the group that he was involved in, which is a well-funded operation. Now, maybe they're going to phrase this in a way around mental illness. Mental illness is on the card, battling or having a conflict or confrontation. As I'm tapping into this card, let me pull another card for it because something about it doesn't feel right. The question I'm asking was he taken because of information that he had, top secret information? Okay, I find this interesting card because he was aware. It's not that he wasn't aware, he was aware. He probably didn't reveal that information because of his clearances and non-disclosure. He wouldn't be allowed to reveal it. So not revealing your true face, not revealing what you know. What this card is saying. It's saying he's not revealing. It says also unaware of certain things, but he was clear. He was cleared. I think the main thing coming out of this is group involvement because it's come out in every spread. So it's something to do with one of the groups that and I keep hearing black projects. Maybe they're trying to hide hide information about a black project. Now what I'm trying to battle with in my head is, was it him worried about certain black projects coming out, or was it somebody else worried about what he knew? So please show me first spread. Was Major General Neil McCasland worried about some kind of black project information being revealed, or having to defend himself about something because of the word defense in the dream? Behind your back, just rumors, staged or framed. Maybe he would be framed, but rumors, so that's not a strong. And the question, the side that I was looking into, was he worried about that? This card here says that's just rumors. He may have been more worried about being framed or set up, or being taken out. So as far as fears, when I say fears, it's not that he was fearful about black projects information being revealed. He was probably more worried. His fear would have been more about being taken out, or being staged or set up to take the fall for something. Please tell me where he is now. What is the state of Major General Neil McCasland right now? What is his state? So we've seen underground tunnels many times. We've seen group involvement many times. We've seen the vehicle card many times. There's no death card on the table. Now, logically thinking, somebody that left the home intentionally organised to not take tracking devices. The card said during that, when I asked that question, it was organised to not have any tracking devices, phones, wearables. There was something organised, or a meeting, a vehicle involved. Tunnel or underground has come up many times. Person is known. Deeply involved. So deeply involved. I'm not seeing the death card, and as I was saying, logically, when you think somebody leaves the home without the trackables, that was my first thought. Taking his gun but not his phone, not his glasses. That's strange as well. Maybe he had a spare pair of glasses. Card of narcissist, torture or rage card, I've just got to say, has come out a couple of times now. It's flipped out to the sides a few times. I'm going to leave that one there. I feel like there's a group involvement again. Group involvement, not revealing some kind of information. So a group involvement in something, but didn't want certain information to be revealed. So not revealing true face or true knowledge, or not revealing information. Tunnel underground, maybe that was organised. What did he leave behind? He left behind his phone and his wearables, so trackable items left behind. Person in charge. The person in charge requested leaving trackables behind, not him. Is he safe? Is he safe right now? In the dark? Possibly underground in a tunnel? It says guilty, but it can also be shackled, restrained. Okay, again, I'm wrestling with my logic thought of what I thought it might have been, which is a terrible scenario, choosing to go with your gun and not your phone. Cards aren't saying that though, they're really focusing on underground tunnels, which I kind of, and I didn't know when I was looking into this case, as I said, I started thinking about other places in areas that had underground tunnels, and how it just kind of little alarm bells went off, and now underground tunnels we're seeing over and over again. So would I be right in saying it wasn't self-harm? It was not self-harm. This card has repeatedly come out. It was an organised meeting. Strategic meeting, planning meeting. Not as it seems. Maybe led to be one thing when it was something else. So organised, thinking it was one thing, but it turned out to be something else. False pretenses. Will he be found okay? Will he be found alive? Not involved, innocent. Not. Okay, I'll leave that there. Is somebody worried about the secrets that he has? Now, this is the other scenario that I was getting at earlier, and whether it was him fearing about what information would come out, or whether somebody else is fearful about information coming out. So is somebody else fearful of what Major General McCasland knows? A group is worried about him revealing information. Why I say this card, because it keeps coming out, is mask, not true face. So somebody not sharing the information that they know. So they're not being truthful. It's not truthful. It's they put on a mask showing one thing, but what they know behind the mask is so much more, and they're not revealing that part of themselves. So a group more concerned about what is being revealed, truth being revealed, true face, truth being revealed. That's probably the best way I can say that. So a group worried about truth being revealed, somebody in authority, a powerful person. Check the timing again. It is the wearable devices, the tracking, the timing, the pinging, not available. That's missing. That's a missing piece because he left it at home. So the answer to that question, is somebody else fearful? We've got that group card again. A group concerned about information being revealed. Okay, is a group trying to get him to reveal information? Social media. Okay, as I was pulling those spreads, and I'm winding down, but as I was pulling those spreads, I started thinking about the cards seem to be more aligned to the conspiracy part of it rather than the logical part of it. So my thought was he went out hiking, he's had an accident, he's fallen down one of those mountains or one of those hills, he's something's happened to him, dehydration maybe, and we've seen that happen before, and so there's been a accident. I've seen no accidental cards in this spread, so my logical thought on this case was somebody that was maybe a bit in a state of not quite themselves. I was expecting those kind of cards to come out. Somebody that chose to leave without trackable devices but with a gun. Logically, I was thinking that scenario. I was also thinking logically, he maybe went out on a hike and come to some kind of accidental disaster or something that's happened to him in that way. None of those cards have come out as well. I really wasn't going to pursue the conspiracy side of it, but the cards seem to keep wanting to repeat the same cards over and again. Again, there's that dark web card that came out only once, but it was showing dark black projects. A group involvement of some sort here. fearful of, it seems to be more they're fearful of what information or truth would be revealed. Tunnels, vehicle, all those cards were coming out. So I thought it might have been him fearful of what information would be disclosed, since disclosure is a topic now that's starting to float around. But doesn't appear that he's fearful of it. It feels more like it's coming from somebody else fearful of information he knows and worried about him talking. So I'm going to leave that reading there right now. It's again, and the cards do it sometimes. I'll be thinking one way and the cards will just completely come out completely different to what I'm thinking. So this is one of those cases where it's clearly not what I thought it was. It's something different. We also saw that destruction card. Maybe he was thinking he was being led somewhere or meeting with somebody over something when it turned out to be something else. So a bit of not false pretenses as to why he was having a meeting with somebody. Now there's no evidence of foul play. There's no evidence that he had a meeting with somebody. Did he have a burner phone? I don't know. Because he didn't have his actual phone with him. But then they'd be able to surely ping, remote area like that. Don't know. Logical thought. I'm out of psychic energy now. But yeah, interesting. It's a little bit different than what I thought with this case. Still no death cards on the table. But lots of tunnel cards. Interesting. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. I've only just started looking into this case. I looked into it because of the dream that I had 2 nights ago about communicating with a general, and the words coming out there was defense. Could be national defense or defending certain information or truth or knowledge. And the other big word that was coming out was hidden. Either hidden in a home or hidden information, or he's hidden. Interesting. And then we see here cards of tunnels and yeah, it's just interesting. But that's the reason I chose to read on this one today. Let me know what you think if you've been following this case closely. Thank you for watching.